Hi friends, my name is Jacqueline Rose and I do not think it's a coincidence that you're here. I think you're meant to be here. So if this message resonates with you, please click like and subscribe to my channel. This channel is about everything spiritual and much, much more. So today I want to talk about conscious parenting. First of all, there's a disclaimer. I am not perfect at parenting by any means. Actually, what I do is I just learn through experience and try to share it with as many people as possible. So what I learned about being conscious as a parent is that I was very unconscious, and I learned that my mother unintentionally gave me a core belief that I was not good enough. And I recognized this belief that I had in myself. And then what I did, and this would be very helpful if you recognize the deep down beliefs that you have in yourself, and then see how your parenting could give those beliefs to your children. And for me, this helped me with the forgiveness of my mother. And then it helped me with not allowing these generational beliefs or curses, some people call them curses or patterns, actually go down to the next generation, meaning my son. And I noticed everything, all these things that I said was giving Jackson the belief that he was not good enough. And I knew that I was not doing it intentionally. I was just doing it because that's the way that I learned how to do it. But it did not work for me. So why would I do it to my child? But I was not aware of it. That's what being conscious of things and being more self-aware is. You can see everything that you do. It's hyper focused, right? For me at least. And so when it comes to that, look at how you parent. Start looking at the way that you talk to your kids. Like I realized that I would tell my son, like, hey, if you do this, like, you're going to go to jail. When you get out older, you're going to go to jail and they're not going to be so nice to you. So I'm literally imprinting this in my kid's head. Okay, and I didn't realize it because that's what was told to me. If you do this, this, and this, you're going to be in trouble. And so that's what I told my son. That's the only tools I had of parenting. I do not know what the fuck I'm doing when it comes to parenting. By the way, Jackson, if you ever see this when you're older, I do not know what I'm doing. I'm winging this shit. And I'm trying my best in every moment to be a better parent. But I'm not always perfect. By no means am I perfect, people. So remember that. Sometimes I explode on my kids. Sometimes, or my kid. Sometimes I say things I shouldn't say, and later on I see how they sounded. Sometimes I don't fully give him my attention. There's a lot of things that I don't do right, but I'm aware of them more now. And I'm trying not to put guilt on myself because of them, because that doesn't help me as well. Then I just have the mommy guilt and the parent guilt that I'm not good enough. Just reaffirms that. So with conscious parenting, you want to really look at what you are doing that is not beneficial to you, that your parents did to you, that you've given to your kids. So you really need to be very focused on that. So I learned that, like when I would say, Jackson, you can't do these things, or don't you want to get better at this stuff, is saying I'm not good enough. So I had to learn how to do things differently and to word things differently. And I had to learn to encourage him just like I would encourage myself with weight loss, right? So I'm trying to do better. I'm not perfect. But if us as parents can really become aware of these things and how we're doing stuff, well, my parents whipped my ass, so, it worked for me. Well, that does not work with my son. I've done the spanking. And my son, this is when I stopped spanking, is when he hit one of his friends, and I told him that he could not hit other people because he was angry. And he said, but you do it to me, mommy. And I was like, okay. Now I see exactly what I'm teaching this kid, which for me, fear worked. I did not want my mom to go off because my mom would fucking go the fuck off, okay? And so that was me. And so I learned from fear. She spanked me. I didn't want to get in trouble. I didn't want her yelling at me, or I'd be very secret about shit. I still did stuff on the sly. She just didn't know about it. But I don't want that for my son, and I don't want him to think just because he's upset that he can hit somebody. So I had to come up with other different ways of doing things and see how my son actually works. He is better with rewards, so I have to really reward him, and then unfortunately he knows about consequences. There are consequences to his actions, and the consequences doesn't need to be physical. It can just be, you're getting this taken away from you. I can do something different because I know that that doesn't work with them. So that's what conscious parenting is about, because we are raising the next generation, okay? And our parents didn't know what the fuck they were doing, just like we don't know what we're doing. And you know, if you look at your own baggage and your own beliefs and the things that didn't serve you, you want to make sure that you're trying your best not to pass that down to your children. A second technique that helps, and I just shared this with one of the basically mentees that I work with if you feel like you have low concentration, which, hello, I'm ADHD, so I totally understand that, unmedicated, okay? So I had to learn through meditation to really focus my attention, and I'm not perfect at it. I always want to reinsure I am going through my journey and I am just sharing it with everybody. I'm not perfect at it, but a way to help you with your concentration is choose one of your children. I only got one, so I'm lucky, to try, okay? So when they're talking to you about anything, like any of that bullshit stuff they talk to you about that you care, like, I don't care about Minecraft. I don't care about any of the Fortnite stuff. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about half the time. But I want to give him my attention. And he feels that. Our kids feel that off of us, right? So I try to be very, whenever he speaks or he's like, Mommy, I try to notice that I need to give him my attention right now, or be involved in whatever he's saying. Because you remember as kids when you would tell your kids your parents stuff and they're like, yeah, they didn't give a shit. But there's a subconscious message that could be built by like, by your parents not giving a shit, right? Or don't want to listen to you. It's like what I've said doesn't matter, right? And then I know people, grown-ass people, that think no matter what they say, it doesn't matter, nobody listens to them. And maybe that's a belief that got created because of their parents not listening to them. And so I notice these things, I notice these behavior beliefs, and I want to change them for my son. I don't know if I'm going to accomplish it. That's why I say I share all of my message for a higher purpose. It's not just about me, it's about the next generation. And maybe a mommy will see this, or maybe a daddy will see this, or maybe my son will see this, 10 years from now, and know that I was doing the best I could, even though I fucked up a lot, right? And so that's why I do this. I do this for everybody else, and I do this for the parents and the mommies and the daddies out there that want to really change our world, because I think that's the most important thing, and that's how I can do it on a grand scale, is to create videos. So I hope y'all get something from this. I hope y'all are having a lovely weekend. Much love.